the podcast. Beautiful people, welcome to this episode of Beautiful People, the podcast. Today, I have, ¿cómo le explico? O sea, ¿cómo te digo who I have? I have the one and only Balloon Papi, Champagne Papi, todos los papis, Jam. Woo! Jam.
Hey guys, I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. I'm so excited to have you here. You have no idea.
I'm like excited, nervous.
No, don't be nervous. Funny enough, when I was planning this podcast, I was like, who are some of the people that I would want to interview? And I was like, okay, this person. Then I was like, Jam. 100% Jam. And I'm so excited to have you here. And so grateful that you took time from your busy schedule to be here. So let's jump right into it. Jam, ¿cómo te sientes, mi amor?
Nervous,
no,
excited.
Don't be nervous. No, I
ramble. I have a rambling thing that I'm working on in 2023. So.
It's okay. Yes, we're going to talk about what we're doing in 2023.
Yes.
No, but I'm excited to have you here because you are such a personality and such a staple, right, in this balloon industry. And so obviously right now I know you a little bit better personally. But for those of us who don't know you personally, we see all of your work and everything that you do on Instagram, and it's amazing. So I want people to know Jam, no garden place balloons, pero no di que champagne papi, ni balloon papi, ni nada de lo papi. Yo quiero Jam.
Yes. Which is why I wanted to come on here. I'm so happy I'm here because I think that there's another facade of the whole balloon papi thing. So.
Yes. No, I think that especially in this industry, we all our marketing is based on Instagram, right? So, and we document so much day to day, or, loading, unloading, prepping, whatever. And everybody sees us in that world, in the balloon world, but they don't realize that aside from that balloon world, we are
people,
humans, you know what I mean? that get pissed off, that go through everyday normal things.
Yes.
So, who is Jam? Háblame de Jam. ¿Quién es Jam?
Loaded question. But
where are you from?
So my parents are from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
I am from East New York. We're from East New York.
East New York.
It's very rich in culture. If you want to go sightseeing in New York,
yes,
East New York should be on the top 3.
I hate you. Go check it out.
Yes.
Check it out.
Broadway Junction, an amazing place.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But yeah, I moved to I grew up in East New York until I was like 11, 12-ish. Then we moved to Long Island because if my mom wouldn't have taken me out of East New York, I would have been Cardi B.
Ay, Dios mío.
So we moved to Long Island. We needed to. My mom took us out of the suburbs. I think that I did elementary school there, and my mom was comfortable with it. But then zoning in East New York gets complicated.
It does.
So mom's like, we need to get you out of here. I was also from a very young age, I was like not so academically inclined. I have a master's degree. Don't know how it happened, but no, because I like.
What's your master's in?
Mental health counseling.
Oh, okay.
So, but I've always been like, I don't want to say artistic, but I've just math and science were never my strongest.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
So we moved to Long Island, and then we lived in the suburbs, and then I did the thing. I went to high school, went to college, got my master's degree. In New York State, it's impossible to get anything. Well, not impossible, but they make it very, very,
very hard.
Intentional.
Yes.
You have to really know that you want it.
Yes,
so
yes.
I did the practicum. I did my licensure hours. I got my license in mental health counseling.
Good for you.
Got to be a supervisor, and then the pandemic happened. I did start balloons, so I do want to say that balloons was happening at the same time. So I get my master's.
Okay. What year was this?
I was 23, so that year.
Okay.
2017. 2017, okay. I get my master's. 2017, I get my master's. I go full into it. I apply for the license.
Okay.
I take the exam, I complete my hours. And then for my 25th birthday, which was 2019, I was like, I want to do event planning.
I remember you started off as an
Yes.
event planner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, but it's okay. It's okay. No, but a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people know that. You
Yeah.
started off as
Yeah.
as an event planner,
Yeah.
and then how did you transition to balloons?
So I did a couple of events. So I think an unpopular opinion, I think that I do believe that the event styling, event planning market in New York City specifically is very oversaturated. And I think that if you want to start out as an event planner in New York City, you just have to work for free.
At some point,
At least that's how I saw
but I
it.
feel like
then.
but I feel like ballooning is also getting. And we'll touch on that later. We'll touch on that later. Pero okay, yes,
But
valid.
I think that at that time it was like, I think that event styling is, at least when you're starting, requires a huge investment, and you're in the red for a very long time.
Yeah, storage,
Which
rentals.
luckily for me, I had my job, so that was kind of like feeding my passion at the time. But I'm a very pragmatic person, and the minute I did a breakdown, I was like, no. I was like, absolutely not. I was like working on these events for so long, and then 4 hours, it's over. I have to go break it down.
And then you have to go back. That's my, oh my God.
So I think I did that twice. And then I was just like,
No.
hey, everyone, we're Garden Place Balloons now.
Yeah.
So
that was a force. Maybe you saw that event planning.
I was
wasn't for
doing
you.
a lot of like folding napkins, setting up backdrops. I was doing a lot of that. And
Did you do your own balloons?
And I did my own
Okay.
balloons. So I was just like, I would look at the balloons. I was like, I wish I would have had more time
To do this.
to finish, like to
okay.
make this look nicer.
Yeah.
So then, like, slowly but surely, I just like realized it wasn't for me, and I just stopped doing event planning.
So, as a balloon artist, what was your first big job that you were like, yes, this is what I want to do?
My first big job.
What?
It's actually how I met Betsy, which is Style Your Party.
Okay.
And it was kind of like, I remember it was like yesterday. It was at Grand Slam in the Bronx.
Okay.
It was like 15 centerpieces, a hot air balloon, Mickey Mouse arch.
No, mijo, pero tú,
then-
you graduated with
but
that
I-
event. You were like,
but I'd like charged like maybe like $900.
yeah.
Which, like, and
Yeah.
I learned so much
yeah, but that's the
because
point.
that was like an invoice and I showed up the day of the party. On the invoice was like the day before, and I was like, "Hey, I'm here," and she's like, "The party's tomorrow." So
I'm dead.
yeah, and I was like, "Oh, thankfully, like, yo tengo un santo que me cuida, like, y que me quiere," because I had like inflated everything, and there was no party on that Saturday.
Oh,
at
and
Grand
you
Slam,
left it.
and I left everything.
I was gonna say, what the hell?
And then, but the next day, the people that were coming to help me, I was brand new. So it was just like the people that coming to help me. I went there with 5 people, and I went back the next day with me and 2 other people.
Yeah.
And I was the most experienced person in the room, and I didn't have much
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
But I learned a lot that day. And it was a Minnie Mouse boutique party.
Okay.
I did a mosaic. I did a candy cart garland. It was
What?
It was
I'm telling you, you graduated. It sounds like you did it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
You had everything in that party.
And I made $0.
So yeah, but that's how it is.
I learned about Caribbean Blue that day. I didn't
Yeah.
even know. It was just like a lot of things.
I learned about Caribbean Blue that day.
Yeah.
No, but to speak to what you're saying, I feel like I ask you that question because I feel like every balloon artist at least, has that one event that kind of like, you're like, bueno, si sobreviví esto,
Yeah.
me gradué, mi amor. Like, I'm legit. You know what I mean?
Literal.
You're like, if I make it out alive and that shit doesn't fall,
Right.
or that arch is still an arch by the end of the party, me gradué.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you start working with Betsy, right? That first event, and then after that was that during the pandemic? No.
No, that was before the pandemic. So I worked all of 2019.
Okay.
something about this math doesn't make. I'm not good with years.
It's okay.
I think it's a trauma response. I don't know years. I started counting years after 2020.
It's okay. Right. Reboot.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was like talking, like mom made a reference to something about 18 years ago. I'm like, that's impossible because I wasn't 9 when that happened.
Oh
and
my
she's
God.
like, babe, you're 30.
Not
20.
Right.
So what was the question?
So you start working with Betsy.
Yeah, but that happened before the pandemic, but I can't, in my brain, it doesn't feel like I did 1 year and then 2020 happened in the pandemic. It felt like a lot longer, but maybe
it was. Because the pandemic was so fast.
Right.
So it was slow, but it was fast at the same time.
But I feel like July of 2020, I did 50 Cent's birthday party, and I already had the platform to be able to ask for interns. So I can't really imagine that happened in
Maybe it did.
Maybe it
did. Because I remember, from an outsider looking in, I remember, I do know that you and Betsy worked a lot together. I did see you working with other event planners, but I remember, like, your main one, correct me if I'm wrong, was Betsy, right? Sort of like me and Johanny, right? Johanny's like the one that gave me the opportunity, and I kind of, we worked together a lot. Pero, like I said, you were working with other event planners, and I remember, like, you blew up. It was like you and Betsy todos los fines de semana, like metiéndole, like every weekend.
And then I was going to my Monday job.
Right.
And then I was like on Mondays at the office.
Yep.
So
before we get into your job, because I want to touch on that, on having, a hustle and a job. Yeah. What was the pandemic for you? What did the pandemic do for you, if anything?
Because I had been trained to do therapy in person, and for me, I'm like a Virgo to the core. I'm a robot.
Okay.
So it's like, for me, it was like, okay, 8 hours of trauma dumping. Okay, it's over. Get in my car. And once I got in my car and I turned on the radio, or I didn't turn on the radio because I didn't want to hear anything because I had been talked to all day. It was just like, okay, whatever, 45 minutes it took me to get home, it was over. Like, as soon as I got in the car, like, it was over. But, like, doing therapy in my bedroom, because there was no real, I was sharing my house with my entire family. It didn't give me a place. It just felt like my bedroom was my job, was
your whole world.
And that just felt horrible. So it just felt like I just didn't want to do it. So,
but in terms of the balloon, like, what did it do anything for your balloon business?
Oh, well, it allowed me to realize that I enjoyed it a lot more than my real job. And when I saw that I was able to pivot my business and not have it, like, just fall apart, because remember, like, the quarantine parties didn't really happen until the summer. So we did March, April, May. And people, like, I feel like people didn't really get comfortable doing parties until June. So it's like, if my business didn't crumble during that time, then I knew that I had like the potential to make a lot of things happen out of it. So, but it was just like, it was like the beginning of the end of my career. I was just like, oh yeah, no.
Right, as a therapist. Yes. But it was the beginning of Garden Place Balloons.
Or the beginning of, like, this is it.
Okay.
Because I never thought that it was going to be what it is right now. Like, a studio, like, all these things. I'm like, I didn't even know. Like, if you would have told me in 2020, like, you're gonna like have a studio space, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, I feel that, and I can identify with that, because for me also, it was like, I started doing balloons because, I was pregnant with my daughter. I felt super guilty. My kid wasn't going to be an only child. And I wanted to do a balloon garden for his last birthday as an only child. Ya tuve el drama. O sea, hello. Right? Una dramatización, mi amor.
Right, absolutely. Like,
you know what I mean?
I've never heard that perspective, and I was an oldest child.
That's right. So, pero, con lo poquito que yo he logrado, like, with what I've accomplished, right? I sometimes sit down and I'm like, yo, like, I would have never thought that I would have had 10 people follow me and give a shit about what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Or like my stuff and say, like, oh my God, like, you're killing it. Like, I aspire to do that. How do you do that? How did you do this? That's crazy.
Yeah. When people tell me that they admire me, that they're an inspiration, I'm like, I'm really just a Dominican kid from East New York.
I know. But you are, but you're not. You are, but you're not. And right. I get it. No. And that's the humble side of you, where you're like, que no te lo crees, no te llega a la cabeza, which is good.
I think that's the only thing. It's like, I work every single day. I'm so tired constantly. So
say that again for the people in the back.
It's just like
we work every single day.
It's like
todo lo dia.
So I think that when I think about inspiration or admiration, it's in this idolized or this unrealistic, and I'm just like, this is just a lot of hard work. So it's like, if that's what you want,
but I get it. But I get it too, because I think it's more than. I think it's more than, damn, Garden Palace. I think people see a human, a person, right? A kid from Brooklyn who, had his life kind of set out for him, right? You had a plan, you went to school, you do what you had to do, and mommy was happy and papi was happy, and you had degrees, and you went to, right?
Yeah.
But you took all that, and you were like, not doing it anymore, and you started over again. Yeah. A lot of people are unhappy with what they do for a living. But because of their responsibilities and because real life shit, they cannot, some people cannot say, you know what, forget it. I'm not going into the deli today, or I'm not going into the office today. I'm going to give up corporate, or I'm going to give up this today, or whatever. Or if they work for their family's business, I'm not going to do this anymore because I want to follow my dream. A lot of people do not have the confidence or the means or the time or whatever to go for it. So to see somebody go for it, it's like, yo, you're like the bomb. You can do it, So tell me more about what you said earlier, right? You had a job and you had a hustle. Guide me through that, because I still have a job, a full-time job, and I have a hustle, right? And I tell you, I remember we were talking the other day on the phone, and I'm like, yo estoy harta. And you're like, you're still working full-time?
So good.
And I'm like, yes, I'm still working full-time, but yo estoy harta. You're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, well.
Yeah. How did I do it? I have this really bad habit of I need to ride things till the wheels fall off, which I'm trying. Another 2023 goal, just walk out. But how did I do it? I don't know really how I did it, but I think that because I was self-employed, I was able to dictate who, what, where, when, and why. So I was in control of both schedules.
Right.
I didn't have a 9. I worked 60 hours a week, and the mental health world, and at least in New York City, these requirements to sustain certain
licenses,
things, they're kind of crazy. So, but as things started to unfold for Garden Place, I was able to kind of take a step back. So it was I was privileged enough to have things as one thing was going up,
they aligned
and do that. But for a very long time, it was I was like, oh, sorry, guys. I have a doctor's appointment next Saturday. I can't come in. And then those clients were just started to, and working in certain clinics, they need you to work Saturdays because that's when people. Yeah. But it was just no, I can't anymore. And luckily, I was I'm always been a workhorse, so people didn't fire me, but it was hard.
Yeah, because then Garden Place started to take more priority in your life.
Right.
Right.
And so in the private practice world, everyone has this really depression and anxiety go away during the summer and during the holidays. Everyone's better. No one and I was just those are 2 times where you take vacation, when everyone's better. What's but so I had gone on vacation, and at the same time, so everyone got better. I went on vacation December 2019. So when I came back from vacation in January, I already had a decreased caseload, and I was kind of starting all over. So then, January, what's really January to early March, I had seen these people 6 times. So the new people that I did have had kind of already fallen off because we went from in person to
virtual.
Hi, how are you? And people are washing the dishes, which is another thing I hated with telehealth. People are washing dishes, people are at the supermarket, people are driving, people are doing anything else.
You're not connected.
And so it just happened that I was yeah, no.
This is not it.
This is not it for me. But I did it for a full year because I didn't quit until more because I quit in April of 2022.
Yeah.
So I did it for 2 years.
Last year.
Yeah. Evidence that I literally don't drop things until the wheels at the end, my the boss, the owner of the clinic was babe,
you gotta go.
I don't want you to go, but like,
just go.
Yeah, just like,
Don't
it's
be.
okay.
And what was holding you back from going? Aside from the fact that you wanted to write it out, okay, but what was holding you back? The financial security?
No, because by the end, it was like, because I was like 1 day a week by the end. Like,
okay,
like, it was like insane. Like, they're like, Wednesday for 5 hours jam. Like, but like, she loved me, so she let me do whatever I want. But
so why? Why were you submitting yourself to that?
So
5 hours per workday.
Because I understood that for my clients, I was the only source of stability. I was the only thing in their lives. And I was just, like, I hate sounding like a martyr, and I hate
No, but you don't.
But it was just like, everyone starts their therapy session with like, you're just going to leave, like the rest of them.
So, quick note for there's no way for people to know this, but I also before I graduated with my master's, after I graduated with my master's, before I started working for the Board of Ed, I was a therapist for 3 months, and yes, you're absolutely right. The first encounter is always like, all right, miss, what you want to talk about?
Right.
What you want to know?
Yes.
Because listen, I gotta go, and I already did this, and you're not gonna. Let's be real.
Yes.
This is not gonna go on for much long. Right. So I feel you on that.
And I was like very set on like, I'm not gonna be that person. I'm not gonna go. Like, I stay places, and I did. I in both clinics that I worked in. I worked for like a very long time, but a lot of my clients were also going through transitions, like. Some of my clients were doing like the junior to senior year transition, the senior year to college transition. And so like a lot of these people don't even have people in their lives that have ever been to college, and all of these things that I just felt like, you are the worst human being for doing this to this kid. And like doing this to these kids. And so like, and also by the time, like my 5 hours on Wednesdays were literally the people that I had been seeing for years and years and years.
That must have been hard.
Yeah. So it's like, like, I understand that they're only a part of my life, but in a lot of ways,
you're a huge part of their
lives. So that was really,
and that's like super valid, dude. Like I appreciate that, and I wasn't even your client. Like, no, because that's rough, especially when you're dealing with, people that are going through real life shit every day, right?
Sitting across from someone and disappointing them is the worst feeling in the world.
Yes.
So
maybe
it was like an ego-driven thing.
No, I think
no.
But I mean, I can understand that, like that client therapy relationship, client therapist. I'm sorry, that relationship is very valuable. Do you keep in contact with any of them?
Some of them.
Okay.
Some of them. A lot of my clients that I do keep in contact. So if I keep in contact with them regularly-ish.
Yeah, you can't have what you had before.
Regularly-ish. They were more. We kind of got the sense that like I've had clients that are born in the same year as me, so they're like,
this is a little weird.
Yeah, but it oddly turned into, which is it's not supposed to happen, but it oddly turned into like friendships, which it was okay. Like it was Listen,
we're human,
right? It was just like kind of like, how old are you?
Yeah.
And it would like sometimes I would never really tell them, but then it would be like, oh yeah, the year was 2010, and they're like, you would only know that that year.
If you're my age.
Yeah, they're talking about school. I'm like, oh yeah, 2010, and they're like, yeah. So those people I keep in contact regularly-ish, and it's more about like, hey, how's work? It going? How's like certain things, and the teens are more like, yeah, college was what you said it was.
Yeah.
Like no one can really prepare you for it. So, but I did kind of close the door on that into I was seeing like 200 people a week at one point. So, closer to, I had a caseload of 200, but you know that then
sometimes they don't show up. Sometimes they reschedule.
Like a caseload of 200 means that you're seeing about a 85-ish a week. So
consistently, but that's still a big number.
It is.
Okay, so you close that chapter in your life, and you close that book, and now you are here.
Yes.
Right? You have your own studio. Congratulations. What's next for Garden Place Balloons?
I don't know. I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know. I
Come on. Okay, fine. You don't know what's next, but what do you want? You don't have to tell me like, no, you don't have to tell me like, you could tell me the secret project. I mean, it doesn't have to be on camera, but no, but like, what are your plans? What are your goals for this year?
This year, so I think everyone knows because the page has reemerged, but the balloon ball's happening again.
The balloon ball.
Yes, the New York City balloon ball's happening again, but that's like, it's, changes. The event itself is transformed.
Of course.
So it's changed in a lot of ways, and that's coming up. But
that was a big ball.
That was.
Let me tell you. Okay, vamos a pausar. So I did not expect to be invited to the balloon ball. I swear, I'm not even saying this because we're on camera. Because of the nature of of our first interaction. So I think we have to tell them. Okay.
We have two interactions.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We have two initial interactions.
Was that the phone call, the second one?
The second one was the phone call.
Oh, see, but I don't count that as an interaction.
That was definitely an interaction.
It was, but it wasn't. Okay. So the first interaction with Jam, I think you were established already. In my book, you were established. You were an established balloon artist, and I was like trying to learn the top 5 balloon industry. like I didn't even know. Like I was new.
But I always followed you because I followed you when you did like the letters.
Yes.
And then
so I crafted before. And I actually worked a lot with Bessie because I would do her favorite boxes, the letters, like anything, invitations and all that stuff. But I didn't know that.
Fun.
And then I was Inflate the Fun.
And then you went back to Paper and Fringe.
And then Paper and Fringe was completely new. Paper and Fringe, when I was doing the crafts, I was 414 event design.
Got it. Okay.
Right? And then I was like, I'm going to do balloons because, I wanted to do that garden for my son, whatever. And then I did it and I was like, that's not that bad. I could do this. Yeah. Mind you, my freaking garland was like sagging. But I was like, I could do this. So then it was Inflate the Fun.
Got it.
Which sounded super kiddish because they made Inflate the It sounded to me after a while. I liked it, but it sounded to me after a while like I was going to come and do like an animal from like a 360 or
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to change it. So whatever. So then we evolved to Paper and Fringe. So as Paper and Fringe, I wasn't aware that you were following me previously. I thought we had just, discovered each other. So I discovered you obviously through Betsy, who I already knew and followed. And one day I remember we were doing a style shoot for Johanny and the other girls that were doing it with us. And I was doing custom colors. I think that was probably like my second time working with custom colors. Yes. So I really didn't know a lot about custom colors. But obviously I knew that custom colors, it was more money, right? Because it's double the work and double the material. So we're doing the setup and, I'm taking videos or whatever and I'm posting it. And I do a video, right? And I post it to my stories. And in comes Jam into my DMs, right? And what do you tell me?
I think I can quote myself on this. It's like, I might have said I have like this, I'm passive.
No, pero dilo, no me lo acomode, dímelo.
I think I said something to the effect of, I see you're doing a lot of custom.
You were like, hey.
Yeah, yeah. Which, by the way,
which is my camera. This one, todita, hey. You were like, hey.
See that you're doing a lot of custom colors, and I just hope you're charging accordingly.
Right.
And so you responded something to the effect of,
what? Go ahead.
Thanks. I'm not in the business of losing money.
But let me tell you, déjame explicarme, okay? Because I was like, Diablo. This is a person that I see his shit. I'm like, wow, que globo, right? And he had never DM'd me. So the one time that he DMs me, es para decirme, mira estúpida, I hope you're charging accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, pero y este tipo. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I'm not,
Did you think about it for a little bit though?
No. I'm very impulsive. No, but I was like, damn, what is he trying? No, I'll tell you why. I was like, wait a minute. Because I know that in that time, I think it was during COVID. I don't really remember. It was. I know during that time, a lot of people were losing a lot of money. Like there was no work. So I know that people were doing a lot of things for free and for nearly free.
Yeah. It was also no balloons available.
Right.
So I was like,
it was a drought.
You're using all of the lime green. I hope you're charging accordingly. Please.
It was no, I know. Pero I understood, like, I understand the fact that yes, we do this because we're creatives and we do this because we want to share our art and this is all great and fabulous and amazing. Pero this is a business and you want to make money and I want to make money. And I never want to be that person to undercharge. I would rather overcharge and have the person tell me, listen, I found somebody else that's going to do it for cheaper. Right. You know what I'm saying? Than to be like, oh, how much is Jam doing it for? Oh, 900. I'll do it for 6. I would never, not because it's Jam, but I would never want to do it for anybody because I never want to be the reason why the industry is super diluted. Now, that is not to say if you have a relationship with Betsy, if I have a relationship with Johanny, if you have a relationship with other planners, you are going to work out your price as you see fit. Right. You're going to put your own price. You know what I'm saying? Pero yo no quiero dañar el negocio a todo el mundo. So when you sent me that, I was like, oh my God, does he think that I'm fucking undercharging?
I said what I said. She had all the lime green.
Shut up. No, so I was like, damn, this guy hates me. I was like, oh my God. Like, and that was that. Pero I think that probably one of the best things that has happened to me, you know, in interacting with people is getting past that conversation, because I think that I had a perception of you that day, which was, no, who the hell do you think you are asking me that? No, but
I think I lack social skills, I promise you.
Oh my God, no, you don't, because when you get to know him, I promise you, the other day when I posted about you posting the pricing on your website, and I felt honestly so inspired by that, and I was like, yo, that's hot. Like, shit, I'm gonna copy that because guess what? It took somebody to do it for the first time for everybody else to follow suit, and I think we all should whenever you guys are ready, right? Everybody that's seeing this, I think being transparent with your pricing is great because it helps you, it helps me, and
it gives you your life back.
It does. And it sets a real expectation of what it takes, guys, to have these Pinterest-worthy parties that we see everywhere. Yes. But I say that to say that the other day when I was talking about that on my story, you commented and I was like, how I got my jab? And I FaceTimed him and he was like, did you mean to FaceTime me? And I was like, yes, I did. So people, we're good.
Yes.
We're good.
Yeah,
we're good. We're good. Yes. Jam, I'm so excited for to see what's to come. And that's
so much pressure.
No, it is. But hello, this is so much pressure. Don't you have like anxiety? I have anxiety. Legit. I have anxiety. I mean, I've always had anxiety, but my anxiety heightens sometimes because of this industry, because of what we do. Because it's like you don't want to disappoint somebody. And it's like your vision sometimes is maybe not the same as the client's vision. And the colors, did you get the colors? Did you get the size? Is this big enough? Is this small enough?
My goal for 2023 is to be more of a balloon business and less a balloon persona custom. Because I think that one thing that people don't, everyone thinks that like, oh yeah, showing your face is great until you don't, you can't show up for a setup, and everyone thinks like, well, I guess my party wasn't like important enough.
Yes.
And if I want to buy a house and I want to have like adult things, I can't be everywhere. I have to have a balloon. So like I did the grab and goes, and I'm like just working on standardizing everything because custom everything will just consume your life.
It will. And the importance of having a team.
Yes.
Which is something that I am now, that's where I'm at, right? Which is like, yeah, Stephanie, you can do it all. Yeah. No, but that's super valid.
Yeah. So it's just like I'm standardizing everything.
Yeah.
I think that for a while, and it's just like, it's kind of like what the business needed. Like I think that custom was like something that was really trendy and cool and fun, or not, and the industry needed it X amount of years ago. But now I think that, well, at least for me, I've just come to a level of understanding my business where it's just like, yeah, no, I can't just keep doing 12-foot garlands. Like I want to, like if I am going to do a 12-foot garland, you're going to come pick it up and you're going to love it and it's going to be great and it's going to be beautiful. But for me to be on site for something, there just has to be certain expectations and certain things in place. Because like color swatching is like,
talk about it, babe. Talk about it. Everybody wants you to color swatch.
No,
it's a lot. Guys, we're humans. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm even learning to like implement like a color, like the color, my own color chart, which is just the colors that like the companies give you, and like.
But here it is.
Pick from here.
Yeah.
Pick from here. So just trying to. That's my goal for 2023. Automating it a little bit more and removing myself away from it, because I don't want to work for the rest of my life. Like I do, but I don't. I know that's a weird loaded.
No.
Like
it's not.
thing.
No. I get it. No, I get it. You have a plan, and you're doing everything you need to do to get there.
Yeah, it's just like my hands are starting to hurt, and I'm just like, this is what 30 feels like.
This is no, babe. It's not even 30.
Yeah.
It's what we do. Yeah. Tying those custom colors and doing that beautiful entrance that you did for that for Annie's party. What was it? For the Avengers party? Yo. Like, this is manual, guys. Arthritis. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah. Bleeding fingers. Yeah. No, so I feel you. I'm there with you. But in the meantime, before you completely remove yourself, I think I speak for all of us, if not a lot of us, when I say that, it is super refreshing to see your content. It is always a pleasure to see what you are doing, and I look forward to see what you're doing. And yeah, dude, thank you so much for everything that you do, for being here, and I guess for sending me that DM, because I was like, dime. I was like, wait a minute, but if he's DMing me, it's because yo soy importante, mi amor.
It's like, send me some lime green. I need it.
Oh my God. I'm going to send you a whole fucking shipment of lime green.
It's okay. Now I have enough.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
and
having
I
me.
can't wait to do this again with you.
Yes. Hi,
my balloon puppy.